Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the second episode of Soldier Stories. And before we get started with the second episode of Soldier Stories, I want to tell everybody Happy New Year. Hope everybody have a good 2026. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get this podcast rolling. For my second episode, I have to me, a very special guest, my cousin who I serve. We didn't serve together, but we at the same time, around the same time, the same amount of years. So I want to get into this podcast talking to my cousin about some of his stories in the military, outside the military, some of his deployments, just all, we go wrap it up in a nutshell, but pretty much everything that he did in the military and outside. So without further ado, I want to welcome everybody to my cousin, Mr. Tommy Williams.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Ken folk? How you doing, man?
Hey, I can't complain.
Yes,
It won't
sir.
do no good no way. Happy New Year. I'm happy to be here and to support my kinfolk,
I appreciate it,
I
man.
like what you're doing. So whatever you need me to do, I'm here for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I definitely appreciate the support, man. And like I was just saying too, I want to tap into some of your story, man.
Yes, sir.
See what you want to share. Whatever you want to talk about is all good with me. It
Right.
ain't no right and wrong. So let's get into it, man. Like I tell everybody, I know you're my family. We're about the same age, but I ain't got to throw that number out there. But,
Hey.
we in our 40s.
You know what I'm saying? When you keep counting, that's when you get old. You know what I mean?
Nah, for
I
sure.
stopped counting a long time ago.
But now, everybody, this is when I say my blood cousin, we used to hoop together, spend the night over each other, aunts and uncles, aunties' houses, everything, man. So this is a real blood cousin to me right here.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, real blood.
Yes, sir.
My daddy and your mama's sisters and brothers, real blood, first cousin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Uncle Michael and Aunt Sandra, let's go. Big
Let's
shout out.
get it.
But
Hey,
I see you. We graduated around the same time, 2001.
yeah.
I didn't join the military till 2003, but I think you joined before I did in 2001. So you joined in 2001. Let's get started on that journey. What was basic and AIT at?
Well, I joined 9/11/2001.
Oh wow, I did not know that one.
So September 11th was my entry date. The day when the towers was going down, I
Mhm.
was flying on to Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Wow.
Like when I boarded the plane, everything was normal. When I landed, it was all chaos. But I honestly thought it was part of the military,
Right.
because we stopped the plane on the airfield. Cattle trucks came up to the to the plane.
Wow.
We had to get all our bags off. We was on there with civilians, so
Mhm.
they separated the delayed entry people
Okay.
with the civilians. They told the civilians to go to one side, grab all the bags that belonged to them. Even the ones that was under, they laid them out. And we had to grab all our bags. And what belonged to us, they ran the dogs through them.
Mhm.
And after they ran the dogs, we loaded the cattle trucks. And the journey began. It took about 8 hours to get on base. But once we got on base, they moved us to a room.
Mhm.
They rolled a TV in there with sack lunches.
Yeah.
And they was like, if you from New York, they was like New York and
Was it Washington, New Jersey, or something like that?
yeah, it was two places. I
Mhm.
can't remember right now. But if you was from those two places, you had to line up on the wall. And I guess they gave them phone calls. The rest of us, we was just sitting there eating our sack lunches, watching TV, and we sat in that room for 3 days.
Man, that's crazy because, like you said, if you're saying that September 11th, I guess, like I said, I'm not joined yet, so we got two different versions of that day. 'Cause while
Right.
you getting off the plane and having to go through that, to be honest, shoot, I was just waking up from a hangover the night before from the club. So, like I said, I haven't joined yet. Probably about a year and a half later.
Well, I
So,
mean, I was a little toasted too because I wanted to sleep on the plane. That was my first flight
yeah,
ever. So
yeah.
I'm like, how's this flight? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm on the phone with my granny, like, Granny, because she just came back from California. I'm like, how this flight gonna go? Just explain to
Right.
me how it goes so my nerves will calm down.
So let me ask you something about that. Then, both of us being from Dallas, Oak
Right,
Cliff,
right.
not thinking nothing like this, but how did it feel when you first took off for the very first time?
On the plane?
Yeah, when you leaving everybody behind and you On
when
that
I know
first,
I'm going to the
yeah,
military?
range of emotions.
I would say fear. You know, if I had to use emotional words, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I can say fear today, but then anxiety
Mm.
because not knowing what it's gonna be like, and me entering 9/11,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it wasn't a war mindset. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like we was entering just for the money. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like me, honestly, I was entering to stay out of trouble.
Right.
You know, so
I know.
because I caught a case, so it was like I signed up just to kind of get out of court case, but the judge was smarter than me. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
wasn't gonna dismiss the case until I completed basic training.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I did a delay entry
Mm-hmm.
because I graduated in May, and I was like, I was pushing it out as far as I can
Right.
just to show that hey, I'm going in. But he
Right.
was like, okay, well we gonna recess. Pretty much, it's like we'll revisit this. He when they had my orders,
Right.
you know what I'm saying. My recruiter was at court with me, and he
Gotcha.
gave the orders to the prosecutor or whatever, and he told the judge my basic, well, it was OSUT then, you know, one
Mm-hmm.
station unit training.
Okay.
So it was basic and AIT was the same
Same.
thing. You just changed flags.
Okay.
So since I was in OSUT, it had my beginning and end.
Mm-hmm.
And so
That was
when my end, literally 3 days after basic training, I was back in court, and that's how my case got dismissed.
nice. Nice. Well, I
And,
know you was happy to get past that and all that good stuff.
right.
But
But I'm joining. And you know, start looking at the benefits. It's like, well, hey, this could be a bad situation, turning good, but then it's like, oh, it's war now.
9/11.
Like we was at Threat Con Delta, you know what I mean? Then I'm new in the army, so when I learned what Threat Con Delta was, it was like only thing come from that is war.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody
No,
had to
facts.
pay, and it was like, wow.
Facts. Facts.
So
So doing that, completing your basic and AIT, we go move forward. What was your first duty station?
Hawaii.
Hawaii. What
I was
unit?
supposed to go to Fort Polk, but through all the chaos, orders changed,
Mm-hmm.
and they sent me the 25th ID.
25th ID.
I had orders for 25th ID Hawaii, and then I'm like, well, hey, man, I post. So, honestly, you know, side story, I was like, well, hey, you know, I'm like, ain't this a breach of contract? So I should be able to get out now.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I done got a case dismissed, you know what I mean? Get out. But my drill sergeant and knowing the structure of the military now,
Mm-hmm.
my drill sergeant, you know, they was our master sergeants,
Okay.
right? But the first sergeant of the unit, which was an E9,
Mm-hmm.
was the sergeant major. He told me no, like me, my drill sergeant, and him, you know, had to go to his office, and he was just like, hey, now under the circumstances that you are in here,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to go to Hawaii. Like, you ain't getting out.
Gotcha.
Because, you know, regardless, even if you get a failure to adapt,
Mhm.
they got to sign off.
Right, for
You know
sure.
what I mean? And he was like, this won't even make it to my commander table.
Oh, wow.
So I was just like, well, hey,
So,
I'm
so
be a light fighter.
let me ask you another question then. So we talking about planes and moving around. Now, being a kid from Oak Cliff, I
Right.
don't know how many plane rides you had before Hawaii, but a kid coming from Oak Cliff, what was your thought when you put your feet on Hawaii soil?
I smell flowers. And let me tell you how messed up it was, though. I thought it was going to be you know, I started hearing so much about it. You know what I mean? Even my drill sergeant was kind of telling me, especially after I graduated and stuff, he was just like, man, he always wanted to go to Hawaii. He was like, that's kind of a hard duty station to
Oh,
get
wow.
to.
Okay.
And he was like, so, man, just take advantage. You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, it's a light unit. And I'm like, what do light mean? He was like, so you won't be in a tank. You'll be what we call towed. So I was artillery, field artillery. That's
Okay.
where I first went in at. And so he was like, you'll be towing it on the back of a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to do a lot of running. You know what I mean? It's a lot of physical training. But he was like, but it'll make you to what you need to be. And I'm like, Right on. So when I touched down, back to
Mm-hmm.
your question, it was like all you smell is flowers. You know what I'm saying? And then me coming there in my little military uniform, I'm getting laid. They putting flowers on me. Just regular people. Then after get laid, everybody had signs with names saying "Go here, go there," and I sat at the airport for 2 hours, like, where the po pick me up?
Oh, nah, that's crazy.
And I ended up catching a cab
What?
to Schofield Barracks.
That's crazy.
Because my orders had Schofield, and I just asked the taxi driver, hey, I'm here with duffel bags. And it's like, hey, how much is it to get to Schofield? And from the airport to Schofield was $50.
That's crazy.
I said, God damn.
First day
I
there.
ended up getting it back after it
Right.
all, but I come to the base, and they wasn't finna let me on the base. We still under threat Delta,
Right.
so my reception had to come get me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And then they asked me, well, what? I'm like, well, why y'all went at the airport to pick me up so I could bypass all this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And,
Right.
but I ended up getting there, and you
But-
know how they
Go ahead.
have receptions where they have junior and senior class.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like came down to junior class, and I was like, damn, it's a whole bunch of women. Like, and stars. I'm like, why y'all in the military? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about some real stars, and then now we got to go through class. So I kind of settled in good because out of, I want to say maybe 40 people, because we was kind of overpopulated because of the jam up. Out of 40, it was probably only 8 dudes.
Mm.
But I was in an all-male unit, which was crazy. And I'm like, oh, so that was the last time I seen them, was at reception. I was like, oh, okay, I guess. So I thought it was good until it got there, and it's number hard leg.
Yeah, but I appreciate that answer, Ken. For what I'm talking about is a kid, 17, 18, used to seeing all these Dallas streets, and all of a sudden you join the military, you're moving around a little bit, and now you're out the country as a young teenager, and just touch on how did that make you feel seeing like something different than Dallas?
Well, honestly, seeing the palm trees, and it was mainly when I got to reception. You know what I'm saying? It was like our first break when we stepped outside. It was surreal to me.
Wow.
Because you know how just getting there was more the chaos of like, why y'all leave me all this. But when I actually got there, and it's like, you see the palm trees, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we come in and they briefing us and they telling us it's no snakes. I'm like, hold up, all this water and all this vegetation, it's not a snake in sight? I said it. I asked them, is this a real place? Or was this all built? Like, is this man-made or is this a natural place?
Like Dubai.
Because the landscaping of Hawaii, it looked like somebody cut it, but you'll never see a lawn service.
Wow. That's
Like the
crazy.
side of the mountains, like Kaneohe,
Mm-hmm.
when you going on H3 and you going through the tunnel, it look like buds of weed.
That's crazy.
Like just big buds just sitting there, fresh groomed. Like the trees just, they go below the freeway, you can't even see the bottom. But they just plush, evenly cut, like ain't, you know how, like where I'm at right now, you know what I mean, on 500 acres, it's a little bit of everything. You got thorn bushes, you got blackberries, brambles taking over everywhere, but there is nothing but green plush grass. It don't even look like weeds.
That's crazy.
And this is just driving.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is me as a, like, being from the hood, being out, it was all surreal to me.
Right.
I used to just call home, do video chat. Christmas time when it's cold and people freezing like around now,
Yeah.
I'm in a tank top and some jersey shorts showing the pool and the beach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah, so
No, I'm with you.
like that's the kind of life it was like, you know what I mean? It's like you living in paradise, but then you got to go to work every day.
I appreciate that answer, Ken folks. So, now you a young male, young soldier,
Right,
just joined. You at your first duty station.
right.
You out of the hood, out of Dallas, you in Hawaii. Now you learn the needs and bases of the army. You say you went in as a field artillery or air defense.
Field artillery?
That's your first MOS.
Yes, sir.
So okay, so what type of MOS, and also too, doing that MOS inside a garrison is a lot different than doing it downrange. So can you
True.
kind of speak on that a little bit?
Okay, so field artillery is infantry with cannons.
Okay.
You know, so what I didn't expect as a field artillery, I thought I'd be shooting a cannon, and we had drills to unload the house, to shoot it, load it back up, put it back on the vehicle, and ride and go somewhere else, right?
Gotcha.
But when we started getting deployment ready, we was teaching infantry how to do convoys
Okay.
because infantry know how to squad maneuver,
Mm-hmm.
but the fighting style
Mm-hmm.
that we was experiencing, it was convoys, so we kind of led the charge on teaching everybody in 25th ID
Wow.
convoy training. Like
Right.
everybody had to go through and get certified through us
Nice.
because that's what we always did was
Right.
convoy. So even when we went to NTC,
Mm-hmm.
convoy training.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And then playing war games. So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah. So I could imagine, man, doing that. The amount of training, the amount of
Right.
shit went into that. So I'm pretty sure in 25th ID, I'm pretty sure you had if not one or two, a few deployments. So what was if you want to talk about it, how was your deployments like?
well.
Or touch
My
on whatever you want
first
to touch
deployment was Afghanistan.
on. Okay.
And when I went to Afghanistan, we was extended. So that was like my longest deployment. I was there 18 months.
18. Okay.
So, but Afghanistan was a whole different beast. Like, it was nothing like Iraq, and Iraq was publicized.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Afghanistan was Iraq, but people with no money.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it was kind of going back in time, like even the way you was living, it was
Right.
kind of in the Stone Age. Like you had to pee in a pipe that was in the ground. You know what I mean? Like you had outhouses, like no running water
Mhm.
in most of the country. You know what I'm saying?
And
You
what year
dry.
is this?
This 03.
03.
Well, 02 to 03.
So you kind of like a little bit after the first wave, maybe the second wave, something like that.
Yeah, we fell in, but we didn't replace nobody. We started new. We built Lawara, which is
Okay.
in the Paktika province, and that's on the Pakistan-Afghanistan border.
Okay.
And then we built Organy,
Mhm.
and we built Skin.
Okay.
And then that's where we kind of had our little triangle in the Paktika province, but we still used to go to like Asadabad and Bagram,
Mhm.
Kandahar, and stuff like that, especially when we need to re-up on certain stuff.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
yeah, so that's why I would say it was still part of the first wave. It was just expanding it.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because we didn't replace nobody like I did on other
Right.
deployments. I fall in on other people.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I
Replacing
mean?
units and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, like I say, man, pretty sure done had to fire off a cannon or two, or
Well, we
done a
had to do
thing
a
or
lot.
two. I mean,
See,
I'm not sure what your roles and responsibilities was over there.
well, Afghanistan was my first introduction. I went to Afghanistan twice.
Okay.
Okay, so I went to Afghanistan, then I went to Iraq.
Okay.
Then I went to Afghanistan, Iraq again, then Africa, Colombia. You know, so when I was in Afghanistan the first time, it was, you know, like I said, we was kind of building up.
Mhm.
But the second time we went, we fell in with third group, but they was only there for about 2 months, and then seventh group was who we did most of the deployment with.
Okay.
And we even earned a patch.
Gotcha.
Because artillery was the only thing they couldn't do. You know
Makes
what I
sense.
mean? And so, and I remember Sergeant Major Rags, he was like one of the coolest guys ever. And then my first sergeant, which was Johnson, he was just like a coffee was his crack. You know what I'm saying? No, like serious. That's what
No,
he
I'm with
say.
you.
Hey, where's my crack, man? Where's my crack? Like he was high strung like that, but he would drink coffee. Look, we had a first sergeant that would call. He would be in the smallest shorts, running on a treadmill in the middle of a desert, giving you a briefing.
Yeah.
Y'all come in here. We like, we all gotta come in here. You gonna put on some clothes
Yeah.
and come talk to us. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you know how them old school dudes is, man.
Yeah, but he was with that group. He just came back to regular Army
Okay.
at the time, and he was with that group. And so spending time with him on the second deployment, that's when they kind of recruited.
Gotcha.
Because they was talking about it there, and then after we earned their patch, but then when we came back to our duty station, back to Hawaii, you get Andy, Sergeant Major Rags, they're at our duty station, recruit, hey, you coming.
Yeah.
He told me I was coming, and then he picked 2 other people.
Okay.
And then, you know, but you go through the selection, but you don't get selected immediately, or everybody don't get selected immediately.
Right.
And that was crazy. And so when I came back and I thought I was getting out, you know what I mean, which is the same thing you doing in Special Forces is you still got to clear your unit.
Okay.
And then when you finish your time there, you'll go back to that same unit.
Okay.
So you'll go back to that unit. And going through the whole process, you know what I'm saying, I was thinking, you know, you get selected right then, but I ended up going back to my unit, and then I was kind of getting out on the family care plan with my daughter because this was after my 4th deployment, and she didn't have nobody was going to keep her at the time, so I didn't want her going to CPS.
Yeah.
And just a quick note on that, you know what I mean? The reason she was going to CPS, like, while I was deployed, my baby mama went through a home invasion.
Oh, wow, bro. I did not know that.
And they locked my daughter in the bathroom. They beat her up, and her dude, they killed him and took whatever they were going to take. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I get a Red Cross message, and that's what I didn't want her going back to CPS, so I was kind of keeping her. They were working with me for a while, and then I ended up deploying a couple times. But at that time, you know what I'm saying, the woman I was with, she was good. But then after that, it was just like, I didn't want to deploy again. So that was kind of my choice. That's kind of how I got out.
Yeah. Man, I mean, yeah, man, that's I never known that. We can maybe circle back to that, you know, a little bit later. There's a side story, but yeah, man, that's crazy. But I never knew that about my kinfolk, man. That's crazy.
Right, but you know, yeah. But I had a lot of experiences in the military, and I'm actually grateful for it. You know, like the military. I don't know if you were gonna segue. Into
Yeah,
we'll
touch back at the end, but I mean, I know we was talking about your 25th infantry deployments and stuff like that, but I know, you know, we'll circle back to the other side. But yeah, I want to kind of move forward too, because I also know that you went to a couple other duty stations, Fort Sill, Fort Hood. I think you also said you did a little sniper school. So, you know, if you want to kind of mix that all in together, I was Fort Sill and Fort Hood, and then kind of close up with sniper school.
Well,
no, that's interesting.
I went to Fort Sill. First, initially, you know, towards the end of my Hawaii time, I went there for BNOC.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Which is Basic Non-Commissioned Officer Course.
Yep.
So that was to get my E5. You know what I mean? And I end up being there on some initial orders, and I was there for about almost 2 years. But that's when, while I was at Fort Sill, I went to Fort Hood for sniper school.
Okay.
You know, because I already had my air assault and stuff from Hawaii. So, you know how when you start thinking about E7, you're trying to line your ducks up
Yeah,
and
for
the
sure.
more stuff you got. So I volunteered for sniper school because they needed to, and I thought I was going to Benning, but I ended up at Fort Hood, which was actually pretty cool. So being at Fort Hood, I ended up deploying with Fort Hood.
While you in school or separate?
Well, after I completed school, went back to Fort Sill. But it's the military, so you know
Right.
how different patches, it's not just at one duty station.
Right.
So
No, for sure.
I was at Fort Sill, but I still end up, because we was the same unit, I end up deploying with Fort Hood.
They'll split the companies or battalions up, kind of spread them out, but you still run the same
Right, it was
patch.
like a detachment.
Right.
Yeah, so it was 6 of us that was detached that went to the exact same unit, but our whole unit was broke up.
Okay.
And was attached to different, like depending on what your job was or what
sure.
you did is who you was attached.
For sure.
You know
But
what I mean?
if you could, like everybody, never been to sniper school, so if you could share what you can about sniper school, how was that? How was that experience? That training?
It was harder than what you think.
I've heard.
Shooting is the last thing you do. Shooting is probably the least thing you do. You do probably more math than anything. You know, my biggest experience was the dope card, or the hardest thing was a dope card, which is the real benefit, but a dope card is data on previous engagement.
Okay.
DOPE. And so what you do, you record everything, right? You're going to record the temperature. You're going to record the wind and everything, and your elevation and everything, so you can kind of get a gauge on how your bullet acts.
Okay.
But you have to learn bullet trajectories. You learning grain, bullet trajectories. You know what I mean? The types of bullets, because you use different types of bullets that affect the wind. If it's windy, you don't want to use certain bullets. You know what I'm saying? So learning that type stuff, that was the hardest part. But then actually recording your data. So, which made it easy because, like, you know what I mean, if the temperature below 60 or between 50 and 60 degrees, you know what I mean, and you done shot that before, you already have your corrections.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Just to simplify, but
Okay.
it's a little more than that.
Okay. Man, sniper school, man, that sounds crazy, amazing. I mean, I done watched a couple videos on YouTube about it, but I want to kind of hear firsthand experience. But that sounds crazy, bro. But is there anything else about sniper school you might want to share? I mean, I appreciate you telling us about the whole looking at the card, understanding your windage and how far you is, the elevation. But is there anything else that you want to share about sniper school?
Yeah, I would say that was the hardest for me. But what washed most people out of sniper school was stalker phase.
Stalker phase.
Like, that's the phase you gotta get to a point, take your shot in exfil without being recognized, and it'll be an instructor within and they'll be trying to find you, and it's like the biggest trick. It was like you move about a foot an hour.
So that's the part of YouTube I seen when they doing that piece right there. The stalker stage where it's like a guy off in the corner and there's a guy standing up here.
Right.
You got to get your shot. You got to do your ghillie suit and all that stuff.
Right.
Because I actually
But that's what kicked a lot of people out.
Because I heard a lot of dudes, because of how long, like you say, how long sometimes you got to be on the ground, moving around.
Right.
I heard a lot of guys wear diapers or, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
just let it go.
My secret was peanut butter.
Okay.
You eat peanut butter so you won't have to do you ain't got to shit. But
Gotcha. Okay.
But if you got to pee, you just put your dick in the dirt.
Right. That's what I was saying. I heard guys wearing diapers so they, can go to the bathroom, whatever. They ain't got to move, whatever.
Man,
But
there no diapers.
never no diapers.
You get your ass toe over diapers. I mean, maybe some people did, but like there you literally make a hole and put your dick in the dirt.
Yeah. Let it go.
I mean,
Cause what you're doing is more important anyway than using the
Right,
bathroom.
and how I know that's important because I was in Afghanistan on a sniper mission, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I literally had sheep walking over me.
That's wild.
Like,
That's wild, bro.
it was a little sheep herd out there, and we was trying to decide if we gonna detain him or what. But it's like he had 2-3 straggler sheep,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because all I did was just lay it on top of it and just didn't move and let him walk. You know what I'm saying? But the stragglers is what walked over, not the main herd.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So he was still about maybe 10, 15 meters away.
That's
He was
crazy.
just walking, but it was a little boy. He probably no older than 15.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's wild. That's wild.
But that stalker phase, really, I was like, oh, so I guess that's why we do it. Because,
That training come in handy, bro.
I mean, it'll be times you might have to detain them because once they spot you,
That's it.
the whole town gonna know you there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we used to have like night missions to where we used to anybody who messed with the oil pipeline, and we was in like northern Iraq, they called it the NOC, the Northern Oil Company. And
Okay.
we would, and that was right before Kyrgyzstan.
Okay.
You
I
know,
heard that.
the border, pretty much what Saddam took of Kyrgyzstan. And he left them what he called the wasteland, where there was no oil. He pushed them up there and expanded Iraq, and it was just for the oil.
So around what year is this?
04, 05.
Okay. Cause now I was just trying to see if we was ever in theory at the same time. Cause
When was you? What
So-
deployments did you do?
so I went to OIF 2. So I joined in 03.
Right.
July 03. November, December 03. Late December, early January 04. I'm in Kuwait, then Iraq. So I went to Camp Cedar 2 in 04, down the street from Talil Air Base.
Right.
So I was there from did a 12, 13 month deployment with a 67 signal.
Well, you was in 04 to when you come out. Was it all of 04 or was it 03, 04? Or
No,
04,
we deployed. I think we got in theory to January 4th, January 5th, 04.
Right.
And then we left probably February, March 05.
We was
Was in theory at the same
in
time?
theater at the same time, but it was only for a couple months.
Okay. Because, yeah, like I said, I was
Because
with
I
the
was
signal.
there 04, 05.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it was August.
Okay.
And then I went back 06, 07.
Okay. So, yeah, my second one. So, of course, that's Iraq we talking about.
Right.
So, yeah, I go there, go to Kuwait, get pushed forward to Camp Cedar 2. We down the street from Talil Air Force Base. We do our little signal thing. We say from my lieutenant colonel, we heard that we was coming home early, so we all excited. So you already left, you know how that go.
Right.
So we didn't come home early. We told around Thanksgiving we'd be home before Christmas. We didn't make it home early. We went down to Kuwait, picked up this bus guard mission where in Kuwait, after December to March, if you flew in Kuwait and needed bus guard security, that was us. You sit on the bus
Right.
in Kuwait, man. Securing soldiers get off the plane, taking them back and forth to the airports.
So the only base you was at in Kuwait was Doha?
For in the beginning when we got there, and then when we got ready to come home, yeah. Doha.
But it was Doha?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
Doha.
like, okay, because they were doing a lot. So that was just in process and in and out of theater.
Yeah.
You didn't go to no other base?
When we went forward, we stopped at like Burn, stopping at these little fobs and stuff like that. Before it's that, nah.
Yeah, it's another big base.
What's that?
It's a Camp John.
Cub Arizona?
Yeah.
I've been to Arizona, yeah.
Air John.
Yeah, that was
how
an
they
Air
say
Force
it.
base. Yeah. So I think that's where some of my bus mission was in Cape Arizona.
Okay,
That's where
so
that's where the good food was.
I would say, yeah. So they went from Doha to
Arizona, the buses and all that. Yeah.
to Camp.
But now, so our mission down there, we was actually going to the where you flew in at on the airfield.
Right.
Yeah, to Doha.
Well,
Arizona
see,
was something special.
and now I guess this segue us into these overseas relationships.
Let's talk about it.
Because
Tell me about it. What's on your mind?
in Arabjan that's where a lot of Marines
Mhm.
and I don't know why the Marine women in Arabjan looked better than every other branch. But it was she was a RAVAC liaison, and I ended up meeting her and a Secret Service
Okay.
when I went to Iraq. I
Mhm.
met the Marine when I was in Afghanistan.
Okay.
And that was my first deployment to Afghanistan. That's
Okay.
a young 19-year-old. And I met a Secret Service when on my last deployment to Iraq.
Mhm.
And when I realized they didn't have a life or they was very sexually active. That was the first time I felt like I was I guess, the prey.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
mean, man, you know how it is over there. It ain't much to do. It's a
Right,
lot of sun.
right. It's a lot of sun.
Once you through with the missions, you ain't got no but downtime. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
did y'all used to have like hip hop night and
yeah, they had that. Yep,
salsa
yep,
night
yep, yep,
and
yep.
we used to have basketball tournaments. Like we used to
Mhm.
come back from the fob because our colonel, they used to just brag amongst each
Yep,
other, make little bets and
yep.
stuff.
No, we used to
Where
have
we used
that.
to play against
Like you said, basketball
uh
tournaments,
basketball and flag
flag
football.
football.
Yep.
After that, man, they bumped it up to soccer.
Oh, we didn't play no
So
soccer.
yeah, man. So I mean, Iraq, it was just really basketball tournaments
I would play soccer with the
and
Iraqis off base, but
oh no, I ain't doing it off base.
yeah, well,
Like,
we live with the monsters.
yeah,
So
but then we had
we take their guns at
but
night.
once we fast forward, got to put the Afghanistan, not Bagram, when I was in Kandahar, and they got a little different at the little boardwalk.
Yes, I would say the boardwalk was the meeting spot.
Man, the boardwalk was something crazy, bro. Cause
You're
you
gonna
remember
see
the
the
boardwalk?
tightest PTs,
Hey,
and then the civilians finna come out and show, like
hey.
the MWR workers
But
and
I'm saying
what
cause see,
KBR.
I was there when they even the boardwalk was the boardwalk, but I was there when they went through the upgrade. So people remember the little flag football field, which was not a field, it was just dirt,
Right,
rocks, and all that. You got a
right,
flag on. Then they had the for the Canadians, they had that little ice skating rink, but
right.
it wasn't ice. It was you walked on it, you ran on it.
But the boardwalk where the stage side where
Yeah,
they used to do the
the
live
USOs and all
concert.
that. Mm-hmm,
Yeah, where the USO
mm-hmm.
was at. Yeah.
I was at Kendall for 9 months.
Oh, you was
Yeah,
stationed
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh,
So I
yeah,
seen it.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But it was like that when I got there.
Right,
By the time I left, they built a basketball court with the gate around it. They
right.
put an actual fake turf down there for the flag football. So I seen it
Oh shit, I didn't see that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I
bro.
used to show out in football and basketball. You know what I'm saying? That's why they used to bring us back. We used to have a special convoy just to go back for the game.
Oh, that's what's up. That's
You
what's
know what I'm
up.
saying?
But yeah.
Which was a morale booster for
Oh
us,
no,
though,
for sure.
because living with the Iraqis, the
Yeah,
only sport you would play is soccer.
yeah. And see,
And we would build our room. Did y'all used to build y'all rooms, or y'all went and choose that was already ready?
depending on where we was at, so in Kandahar we had the B huts. In Bagram, no, I'm sorry. In Bagram we had B huts.
Yeah, that's the villages,
Yeah,
right?
we had the B
Yeah.
huts, and then when I got to Kandahar, they wasn't B huts because the Navy I think built the B huts. So these was more like a tin can. So you had like a long building,
Uh-huh.
and they had like 8 rooms in there, and at the end you got a bathroom. So that's what we stayed in Kandahar.
Oh,
So they
okay.
wasn't wood; they was more tin.
Yeah.
But
Well, when we would transition, we either be at the transition tents or the choose, the Connex housing
Right,
units,
right.
where it would be 2 people to a chew.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But that was against in Iraq. In Iraq,
And
that
then
was
the
back tents.
The chews was in the Hisco basket.
Okay.
And then right outside the Hisco basket, you had the bathrooms where you take
Okay.
the showers and all that
Yeah,
type stuff.
but Iraq, we stayed in number tents in Iraq. It wasn't no B huts, no nothing. So I
right,
stayed in
and
the
then you know how they
18
number the
man tent.
villages.
Hmm.
That you know how they number like you pod 1,
Mhm.
pod 2,
Right.
pod 3.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like I was in pod 4.
Yes, and then if we wasn't in Iraq, if we wasn't in tents, we stayed in them bays, them big ass bays.
Oh yeah, yep. Number cots
Cots everywhere.
lined up.
I don't care what you got going, cots everywhere.
It fit, what about a?
That's what it was talking about, them Jack Shacks.
And and it was a lot of whorehouses out there too.
Hey
Like
man,
you had people get money out there.
yeah, there's some stuff going
You
on,
had
man.
people selling liquor.
I was one of those
You had
guys.
people selling vagina. You had people selling
You,
refrigerators and TVs.
you know, I think like what a lot of people don't think about the military is, of course, because they're not really. If you're not in, you don't have a privy to that world.
Right.
But people think that I don't know how to best to say it, but what I want to say is that people gotta understand too in the military. Outside that uniform, it's regular life.
It's regular.
It's
I'm
just a
talking about
uniform.
it's intentionally regular. Like as soon as you take that monkey suit off, it's like, whew,
Hey, and sometimes you don't take it off.
I'm regular.
Sometimes you don't take it off.
Well,
It's some things that goes on, and you know, some of the things you just mentioned about people and moving around and things that's being sold and things that's being bought and
it,
different stuff like that. So it's still going on in the military.
it's like jail with everything you need though.
You know, it's funny you say that. That you use that jail reference. I tell people, it's like going to jail except you can go work out and got a berm around you.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
free, but you still got a berm around you.
But look, even that berm, it got concertina wires and everything, just like a prison. You hear me? But
Don't go past that gun line, boss.
right, it's like once you pass the threshold, you are what they call you are out the wire.
Yeah.
Once you out the wire, it's
Yeah.
over with.
Yeah, so let's push forward a little, kinfolk.
Right.
We talked about deployments. We done talked about some where you been at, a couple of your duty stations, some sniper school. So man, let's transition a little bit and move forward. So before we say you get out, just looking at it now, then you had a little time to sit back and think about it. What do you feel that some of your strengths and weaknesses since you've been out the military, something they build you up on, something they made you weak on, but what do you feel some of your strengths and weaknesses in getting out the military, out the army?
Well, life after the military,
Well, before we get to life after the military, just some of did they make you stronger in some things, like more disciplined?
what are the benefits from the military?
building sense and weaknesses? Yeah.
Okay, so I would say what the military instilled in me was focus. Because I can say as a youngin', I wasn't as focused. That's how they kind of get you there by putting you in a routine.
For sure.
And I would say discipline, because not only are you in a routine, but you got to show up in the right uniform at the right time at the right place. You know what I'm saying? And you getting instructions, right? And then I would say another strength would be camaraderie. Like you build brotherhood or true relationships in there.
For sure.
Like it's easier to decipher in there because people don't have the time to play like that.
Bullshit
You know what I
games is
mean?
very short.
Very short, and it got consequences, right? So a lot of people just kind of go. So I would say the weaknesses is that you become dependent on a system.
Okay, that's a good one.
You know, and only reason I say it's a weakness because once you out, the system is no longer there for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what makes it a weakness is because you have to have the mental fortitude to be able to rebuild that system for yourself.
For sure.
And
Right.
and what that system look like in the military versus the civilian world is two different
Totally
things.
different world, bro.
And the understanding is different.
For sure.
So it's a strength while you're in, but it's a weakness when you're out.
No, for sure. That's facts.
And another weakness is like you go through a lot. Like what people don't talk about is sexual harassment. I'm going to say something that might be a little controversial.
It's on you. Say what's on your heart.
Why I wouldn't recommend it to like my daughter or anybody, because by design you will have a sexual encounter, wanted or unwanted.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It'll be held over you sometimes to get promoted. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the weaknesses of the military is that sexual harassment is rampant in ways, and it's space for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And depending on who do it is,
Boy,
you
you
know,
hitting on
because I
something
used to
right
really
now.
feel bad for women, and I didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel because see, I worked with our dudes for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't understand till I became a social worker after.
Mm-hmm. I do want to kind of touch on what Tommy was saying. Let's expand a little bit on that sexual assault, man, because I know we know because we put that uniform on, but man, a lot of people do not know how big, to me, in my eyes, uh, maybe you might know better than I did, but that might be the number one topic that people want to talk about in the military,
Yeah,
is the sexual assault. And the
and
reason I say it is because, like you had some soldiers, I had some soldiers, man, and we done seen kind of probably both sides of that coin. People who
right,
get away with it, people who get caught up. But I'm like you, man. I done had some of my soldiers, some of my close friends, be sexual assaulted,
right.
and it's crazy, bro.
And see, it's different for you because like you had actual female soldiers,
Hmm.
right? And I was in an all male unit. You know what I mean? Combat, but you still go through the same stories, the same thing because it's just like a woman showing up to staff duty and saying, "Hey, this guy did this." Like we used to have so many incidents, man, in the world. It'll be a girl came here. Like one time, it was a sergeant major's daughter
Hmm.
and a full bird colonel daughter.
Hmm.
They was hanging with, like the colonel and sergeant major worked together. Like
Right.
they was, you know what I'm saying. And they daughters was cool because they cool, right? But they was hanging with some soldiers from my unit.
Hmm.
But you know how they one thing leads to the next. They drinking and all this, and it's like initially it was the two that they was with,
Hmm.
but by the end of the night it was like 15. Like most of the barracks done been dealing, and then you know the colonel sergeant major they come lock the whole unit up. Had their daughters out there to point out,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? But then one was like intoxicated, so
Hmm.
she only remembered like the first two guys.
Yeah.
And but pointed people out, and you know people
Man,
got fried,
I bet.
and like, but it's incidents where people get handled for that.
Hmm.
But this is the controversial part. It's like what I've noticed because, like I say, I got out and I started doing social work, helping veterans get their benefits, and we
Hmm.
used to have a lot of MST, which is military sexual trauma
Hmm.
people. And I was seeing like this designation on so many people. And this is the military recognized that you went through it and they gonna pay you for it.
Right.
But it's like people who wasn't recognized who had to get recognized and I had to help them. But
Hmm.
what I started noticing is like you have co-ed units experience it the most. But a civilian would get more repercussions,
Hmm.
or it would they would do more
Hmm.
to correct it, so it won't be an incident between military and civilian versus military
Military.
military. A
Gotcha.
military they'll just kind of sweep it under,
Gotcha.
so the reports won't be
I
bad.
see what you're saying.
So the commander don't get a
Hmm.
bad rating
Hmm.
because that's part of the first sergeant and commander's
Hmm.
rating.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like it's a lot of incentives to not report.
Yeah. And to touch on that, I mean, one of my soldiers, man, one of the crazy stories that I kind of experienced in my unit when I was in Fort Huachuca.
Right.
Sometimes they say, man, you got to be careful who you vouch for.
Right.
So I'm in career in '06.
Hmm.
I get moved to this mountain. Make a long story short, I get moved to this mountain. There's four of us, 3 E4 and below, and 1 E7. These E7 became real cool. fast forward, we both leave Korea. I get to Fort Huachuca first. Get to Huachuca first, been there for a few months, and then we go on deployment. Before we go on deployment, this E7, he gets stationed there as well.
Right.
He come there. We about a month or less before we go on deployment. Before we go on deployment, one of the soldiers in our unit, she was dating this guy during that time.
Right.
She come to work one day. Well, I knew some people she called and heard this incident happen. Where she's with him, she's at his house one day. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna get some food." She said, "Hey, okay, go ahead and get some food. I'm gonna sit here and chill, watch a movie, yada yada yada." Now this back in the day, everybody. So we talking about DVDs, you know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about Roku sticks and Fire Sticks and all that. So
you know, when I was
talking about
deployed
DVDs.
too, I used to have to get 100 movies on one DVD. You understand what I'm saying?
Hey,
So
they don't know about them, man. Had to have every Rocky on one DVD.
They got me through plenty of deployments. I used to get DVDs, Denzel, Samuel, and it's every movie they
Every
been
movie,
in.
bro.
But back to your point.
Yeah. So she tell him, "Hey, I might be mixing story just around a little bit," but he ended up leaving. Said, "I'm gonna find a movie." She pops in the movie while he gone. She's sitting there chilling on the couch or whatever, watching the movie. She watching the movie, and all of a sudden, remember like that old VHS where the lines kind of get fuzzy and comes back in? But while it does that, she can see a young child. It comes in. She's like, "Hey, this not part of the movie."
Right.
See this young child, wonder what's going on, and she's curious. And while she's watching this young child kind of not having clothes on or minimum clothes on,
Right.
her significant other, which is that E7, happened to come on the screen. I mean, we can all put
Plot thickens.
so we can all imagine what's about to happen on this film.
Right.
And to let you know, too, that was his daughter. So she watched a little bit of it because she's trying to wrap her head around it. And when he comes back, she gets to tell him, "Hey, you need to turn yourself in. If not, I'm going to turn you in." So long story short, she did end up reporting him. But just taking about, I know it's not really a sexual assault, but kind of,
Right.
or I shouldn't have said that word, but, that's what goes on, bro. And people, a lot of people don't want to admit, like I say, a lot of that sexual assault stuff that goes on in the military, bro. Because I mean, and people don't realize too, bro. It's for men as well.
Right.
Go on one of these
Look,
deployments and you hear about these dudes, bro.
Bro, you just hit it. It's like, don't think the sexual assault. Like I said, I was in an all male unit in Hawaii. You got the phrase mahu. Have you ever heard of mahu?
No, go ahead and break it down for
a
me.
mahu is in Hawaiian language. It means a boy that's prettier than a girl.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. So you you have a lot of mahus that's built, but they 6'5", 6'3". You know what I'm saying? And it was mainly to certain races, but they would. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if you disrespected them because, you know what I'm saying? Because they'll tell you, you know what I mean, I'm a mahu, but you know how people is offended. Oh, you know, it kind of, they beat you up, bust your booty hole, and
It's crazy.
and next thing you know, I had soldiers where I used to have to go to the hospital. You know what I mean? And because now it's a police incident report.
Right.
And, you know, first person they call, you'll be at home with your wife, and guess what? You getting up out your bed and on curve, it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Old dog 30.
Old dog 30, and you got to be up there, and you better make it there before your commander do.
Better be up there, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you have a lot of males within the military, like outside the civilians that would do like
For sure.
what they used to call it was like, you have a lot of crazy hazing or pranks.
Yeah. Try to hide it.
And it's like if you get drunk and you pass out first, you finna wake up. Yeah, like I done seen the worst of the worst. Like a dude done actually jacked off and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And did the recording and show it to him and all that. But I mean, everybody get in trouble.
Yeah.
But it's like, it be some of the craziest. Because it's a lot of kids that's introduced to all this freedom. And, just I ain't trying to sugarcoat, but it's like the lines are blurred.
No, for sure.
Like the bonding
Mm-hmm.
that you experience in the military, like if me and you in the military, because we kinfolk,
Right.
we automatically got to bond. You bond off anything in the military. You both can be from Texas, both can be from Dallas,
Yep.
both can be from Cali,
Yep.
both can went to the same basic, both. You
Yep.
just at the same duty station,
Yep.
you know
Oh,
what
you
I'm
got the
saying?
same
Or
patch
you
I
used
got.
to be in the same
Yep.
duty station
Yep.
together, or we got the same pet. It'd
Yep.
be any reason to click up because you want that camaraderie and
Mm-hmm.
bond.
Facts.
But the difference from me and you is like I can bond with my soldiers, you know what I mean? As long as I'm not homosexual,
Mm-hmm.
we'll just have a super tight relationship.
Right.
But anything that I have done outside my unit to you know how you do all kind of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when you doing stuff for a woman, like me as a male doing something for a woman, and her supervisor didn't do it,
Mm-hmm.
we would build a bond just off what I done for her. Whether
Right.
I'm helping her kids, it could be counseling,
Right.
making sure that
Promotions and that whatever.
making sure she get housing,
Mhm.
making sure it's a lot outside the military.
For sure.
Like you can help with all her military job stuff, but I'm
Mhm.
saying like all that stuff when you take the uniform off.
Being a single mom, helping out a single mom.
And you know how it's programs and different stuff that they can get.
Right.
And being her supervisor, especially when people first go through certain relationships, like
Mhm.
do an early return of dependence and you send your husband back, but now
Right.
you're keeping your kids. You know what I mean? We get you daycare, we
Right.
get deers
Yeah.
enrollment, you know
Yep,
what I
yep.
mean, which is other family benefits, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And depending on if your kid got special needs,
Right.
like it's like making sure even though her husband left,
Mhm.
she have everything.
Mhm.
Like that builds a bond
No, for sure.
and blurs the lines, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
Like even women would want intimacy, or they'll just expect or give you intimacy
Right.
because they just feel like you done way more for them,
Mhm.
and all you was doing was your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it ain't always where it's vulgar or intentional, or
Mhm.
it's like motherfuckers say, "Oh, I'm gonna get that." You have that. You have people that will hold your rank over your head
For sure.
if you don't get them none, or if you dating somebody they don't like. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like it's a lot of love and hip hop drama
Oh yeah.
in it. You know what I
Jealousy.
mean?
Oh yeah, man. I used to look at the military. You know, when you get to those kind of missed units and stuff like that, and you start really, when you really start really understand what the military is, bro. After them, I say like this: after year 3, year 4, you don't hit that specialist or
Right.
sergeant. You should know what's going on in the military.
You
I don't care where you go.
The ins and outs.
Yeah.
If at a minimum, you should know that it's kind of like the Constitution.
For sure.
You learn the Constitution of the military. You know what I mean? It's like, or what the code of conduct,
Yeah.
and then you learn rules and regulations.
Mhm.
It's kind of like being out in the civilian world. You learn the law,
Mhm.
and once you learn the law, you know how to maneuver.
Yep.
Same thing with the military. You learn the system. You learn the ins and outs of it. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Which what they call Army regulations, which is the law in the Army. You know what I mean?
That side, but also the other side of the rules that's not really spoken of and stuff like that. So once you can merge those two worlds together,
Right.
you'll be all right.
you a good soldier when you get to that. But if you confused on either side,
Yeah.
your rank will reflect it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know
For
what
sure.
I mean?
For sure.
It's
For sure.
like if all you know is the military side, your rank gonna reflect that. You'll make it to E5, but then you'll kind of be there for a while.
E5, a little bit E6 sometimes. Depending on
If you cool with them, they'll get you there.
Yeah.
Cause that's another thing too. Is like the Army is not. That's just my experience in the Army, but I'm pretty sure every branch like this. It ain't all about what you know; it's who you know.
No, for sure. You got
It's like jobs too.
Yeah. No, you definitely gotta. No, you good. You definitely gotta learn how to mesh those two worlds together.
Right.
So, let's push forward a little bit. I know we talked about some of the strengths and some of the weaknesses, and man, to me, man, that was some damn good answers. I definitely appreciate that in that conversation right there. But You did your time. You
Right.
served. My man went down range. My man done been a sniper school. Done all type of things that, and I'm pretty sure we got more stories we hadn't even touched on. But man, let's talk about now. Uh, doing your time, knowing how you was before you came in, knowing what the military provide you. What is life like now for you when it's all said and done at this time?
Well, life right now is great. I
Gotcha.
can't complain.
Yes, sir.
But when I first got out,
Mm-hmm.
life was hard. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Let's
It's
expand on
like
it.
for me,
Mm-hmm.
getting out single.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it was with my daughter.
Okay.
So first I was homeless. You know
Okay.
what I mean? I came back. It's just a plane ticket. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So was couch surfing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Then I registered with the VA, which was a little late. I was supposed to register when I first got out, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't give you a lot of information. So when I first got out, I registered with the VA, and the VA was some bullshit. At the time, it was like appointments was far out, 6 to 8 months out. It was just like, what
Yeah.
am I here for?
Right.
You know. And then I filed my claim, but it was just so. Long story short, went through. It took me 6 years to actually get my benefits. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So, it was a struggle before then.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I can imagine, bro.
right? So, just real quick, this is how me and my daughter survived. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And this might help other people for a while.
Okay.
One thing I learned in this country when me and my daughter was homeless,
Mm-hmm.
there's no shelters for men
Mm.
with children. It's only one in the country, and that's here in Texas.
Wow.
It's two shelters for men in the whole country, but one allow men with kids,
Wow.
and that's the one in Texas. And it's called the Family Place, and they
Mm-hmm.
was great for me.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I heard them before.
And because of that, they start, being in that shelter, curfew and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they kind of helped me get my footing here
Mm-hmm.
while I was waiting on severance pay
Mm-hmm.
and my military pay and stuff like that. I wasn't getting compensation for 6 years, but you know how you get that severance pay when you first
Right.
get out, the time of service, bodies, this and that.
Yeah.
So when I was waiting on that, and so how I was living right before I was introduced to the shelter,
Mm-hmm.
I had got me a Planet Fitness membership.
Okay.
Uh, Me and my daughter, because at that time, like she could work out,
Mm-hmm.
but all she would do is kind of walk on the treadmill,
Mm-hmm.
and we would take our showers and stuff there, and it was in Redbird,
Mm-hmm.
so where the Planet Fitness there by the Whataburger,
Mm-hmm.
in the Texas workforce, it was the mall, and the Texas workforce was on the other
Right.
side,
Yep.
so we would work out in the morning, well, sleep in Planet Fitness parking lot since it was 24 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and we would work out in the morning
Mm-hmm.
and take our showers. We go about the day. I'd give me a temp job,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And she would just actually come with me,
Right.
for a little while. But I was pulled over by the police in Redbird for sleeping in my car.
Wow.
And they took me and my daughter out and took everything out. They got to
Right.
search the whole car and all that. Then when they found out was nothing, they was like, why y'all got all these clothes and stuff like that? And then I explained my situation, so it kind of, he kind of felt some kind of way. And then he was a veteran, and he was like, hey, have you ever, have you registered with the VA?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I'm registered with the VA. And then he was like, well, it was this guy at the VA that helped me. And then his name was Anthony Young. He worked in Veteran Benefits Administration at the VA. And so when I went there, he told, hey, tell him I sent you, blah, blah, blah. So I went up there, and I started talking to him. And then there was this lady that I met there named Cornisha,
Mm-hmm.
Cornisha Campbell. Like, Cornisha was a veteran herself,
Mhm.
but worked at the VA,
Okay.
and she helped veterans get their benefits, and she held a class twice a week. It
Mhm.
was like, well, we can kind of go in there like this. We can vent. We can talk about whatever. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like she would kind of start out with a little guy, but she'll just kind of let us talk. And it's like the class got bigger. She
Mhm.
started helping everybody in
Nice.
class get their benefits.
Nice.
And then she was telling me about a bridge program
Okay.
where I could go be a social worker. And this was after Dwayne,
Mhm.
where I did the IT class with
That-
him.
yeah.
And, Dwayne, side note, was my cousin people for a minute, you know what I'm saying? And when he knew we was cool, he was like, I got you, you know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's your cousin? I said, yeah. He's like, oh, saying it? I said, that's my auntie. He was like, oh, I got you then. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You good. And I was able to do that for free without using my GI Bill or nothing and
Nice.
actually get a stipend. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying? So, and he just told me however he needs to write it up, he'll write it up for me
Mhm.
so I could get voc rehab,
Mhm.
which is vocational rehabilitation for veterans
Right.
that you go to the VBA to get. And so Anthony hooked that up for me first, and then he wrote down my issues in the military.
Mhm.
And he was like, this is what you claim. Just go claim these.
Mhm.
And then we'll work on the other stuff.
Gotcha.
And so that was like a turning point.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And so after Dwayne, because, they would only lasted like 2 months. So
Yeah.
it was like a good break for a minute. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it was like, now what now? Because I still got I'm still waiting on.
Right.
So it was like still not receiving no money and working with the thing,
Mhm.
and we just kind of did the Planet Fitness thing for a
Right.
while.
Right. Right.
And after that, I had met a woman. I was trying to holler at her first,
Yeah.
but she was going through some stuff
Uh-huh.
to where she had to go back to Colorado because she had some people pass and she had to get all that settled. But she just got an apartment here. I couldn't get no apartment because I had no rental history.
Okay.
They wouldn't count Hawaii or none of like my military
Right.
housing. You know what I'm saying? So it was like no rental history, credit ain't the best.
Right.
I couldn't get nowhere.
Yeah.
So that was contributed to my homelessness.
Yeah.
So she let me take over her apartment. She was like, well, I'm gone and I can't get out of it. I don't even have the money to even get back home. I said, well, look, I'll pay for you to get back home if you let me and my daughter hold this down. And she was like, what? Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm like, she said, well, you going to pay every month? I said, we need a place to stay. So, and that's how that worked out,
Yeah.
just to make it short. So life after was a struggle
Yeah.
for about, even once I got stability, it was a struggle to get what was needed for me and my daughter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I can imagine, like you're saying, bro, and I say this all the time, like, and most people know, they program us to come in, but they don't program us to leave.
Right.
So that whole little getting out on your own, like we said earlier, not having no structure,
Right.
then somebody just pretty much just drop you in the middle, I ain't gonna say nowhere, but in your hometown with no structure, no guidance and all that,
Right.
and you got issues, no money.
Right.
So yeah, bro, people understand, bro. It get crazy your first couple, 2 or 3 years, and depending on what you got going on, it could be shorter or longer than that.
Right.
But listen to your story, man, and you saying at this point now that like you homeless, you got your daughter,
Right.
y'all using Planet Fitness to get by. You still trying to do whatever you can for your daughter and you to survive, but in the midst of all that, I'm pretty sure, but you're not even noticing. I don't know if you do. I don't put that on you, but probably PTSD, anxiety.
Right. It's my own issues I wasn't able to deal with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And some of them wasn't just immediately recognizable.
For sure.
Like PTSD for me, after my first deployment, you know how you do reverse SRP?
Mhm.
It said show signs of PTSD.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that was like first deployment, first kill, first, you know what I'm saying? Having to hold the little girl and her skin peeling off because her daddy, dumbass, done trying to make an ID in the house and we
Wow.
passing by and the whole house blow up. And,
Wow.
You know what I mean? He died, the little girl and little mama survived, but she was burnt up, and that was kind of like one of them things that kind of affected me. You know what I
Right.
mean? I
For
ain't really
sure.
give a damn about no Afghani. You
No,
know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? But, you know, that was weird. And
So,
besides kicking in doors and seeing
mhm,
gay acts, you
mhm,
know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
But
right. All
that
that.
was like one of the things that kind of affected me. So on my reverse SRP, they kind of said, showed signs of
Mhm.
PTSD. But, me personally, it's like, PTSD, what is it?
Right.
Like,
Never
I'm
heard of
still
it.
me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But as I kind of kept going along, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, as stuff was becoming stable for me
Mhm.
physically,
Mhm.
mentally, it was starting to become
Starting to
challenging. You know
blossom
what
a
I'm
little bit. Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like realizing I ain't dealing with stuff.
Mhm.
And
So.
when I was going to class,
Mhm.
Cornisha kind of guided me in the right way. And then like, I had to go through a year of treatment,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, and stuff. She was like, look, go through it yourself.
Right.
And then she was like, and depending on what you want to do, you know what I mean, you
Right.
can do what I do, help other
Right.
veterans.
Right.
So that's what kind of led me to
So. So.
becoming a social worker.
So. Oh, that's what's up right there. That's a good. That's a
And,
good
and they
transition.
paid for it.
Yeah, that's a good transition. But I want to kind of circle back a little bit when you say you starting to get a little stability,
Right.
with the physically, but then the
Yeah.
mentally. Do you think that's when you started noticing that you had PT? I guess my question is,
When did
when do
I?
you think you noticed that you had PTSD? Was it in, or you kind of like you said, you kind of been downrange on a couple of things that kind of let
Right.
you know, and it's kind of maybe at that you never heard of it, but
Right.
it's kind of at the forefront, but you
It's
still
like
kind
they
of
educate
pushing
you
it to
on
the
it. They
side.
said, show signs of
Right. So you
PTSD,
like,
but it
sure, yeah,
won't no.
whatever, push to the side and keep going.
Right.
So do you think that you really got a grasp that you had it in or out?
Out.
Exactly. Okay, that's what I was
And
thinking.
not immediately out. I would
Exactly.
say when I started noticing I had it is when it was hard to deal with people outside my circle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's like people would come at you what they would consider normal or
Yeah.
and it's like, hey, say nah, don't.
Yeah.
And you know how this is the main thing. You know how when you come home and now the YNs, what they call them now,
Right.
it's like everything about them is disrespectful.
For
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? Like just, oh, what's up, bitch ass nigga?
Yeah.
Hey, bitch. Like even on the
Yeah.
phone, I been thinking they talking to a girl, and it was like when I started noticing like this is, I guess, a trend,
Mm-hmm.
hood trend, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like I wasn't
Yeah. Yeah.
like that was offending the fuck out of me.
Yeah. Yeah. And to me personally, I mean, share a couple stories about that. It was a couple dudes and I was in, and they was really from the East Coast that talked like that.
Right.
So me coming from where we come from,
Right.
and somebody saying, "Hey, what's up, B?" I'm looking like, bro, where I'm from, that's a fight.
Right, like
You know
fight
what I'm
go
saying?
with it.
Like,
Like
like I'm grown. Like, where I'm from, don't know grown man, kind of the grown man, those type of words. So by you calling me that, I'm looking at you already kind of sideways, and you talking about you playing. I'm like, bro, that's not a playing word where I'm from.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
So,
say
but yeah, but to touch
especially
on,
how we was raised.
for
You know what
sure,
I'm
for
saying?
sure.
And my dad and
I
how
already know. So that's
he said if you
so
don't do nothing, you die for your respect. I was like,
so that but yeah, I kind of agree with you too, bro. I kind of just went to my therapy and stuff like that, and I kind of touched on my PTSD a little bit. So yeah,
right,
it took me to kind of get out,
right,
start noting the mood swings and irritability, like you saying. To me, the tone,
right.
different stuff like that.
And I
Start.
got a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
So when you start realizing, how easy was it for you to communicate that with your psych? Or because you registered with the VA?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how. Well, let me just give
Mhm.
mine so you can kind of
Mhm.
understand what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
It's like I had a Indian psych, and when I started my treatment process, right, this is the next challenge. It's like now you reckoning with yourself. Okay, this is something I need to deal with.
Mhm.
But now the trust, when
Mhm.
did you develop that trust between you and your psych to where you could kind of talk about it?
So for mines, I think because we probably had maybe two different things and stuff like that for us, the missions and stuff over there. I don't think mine maybe been as deep as yours on some levels.
Right.
So my trust was a little bit maybe in the beginning a little bit more open because when I first and I just finished my treatment probably end of last year.
Right.
Because I tried
Right.
before, they seen on my records that they kept pretty much just passing me along where I never got help.
Right.
Finally, this lady came through and she really helped me out last year. She helped me
Right.
out the whole last year. So I really just, bro, to be honest, just finished my treatment last year.
Right.
And I told her for me the biggest thing for my treatment, it wasn't even the stories just yet or just sharing those stories.
Right.
The biggest thing for me is that at this point, I can identify my triggers. Well, I
Right.
couldn't at first.
Right.
Everything's pissing me off.
Right.
You walking around like yada yada yada, and I don't know why.
Right.
But breaking stuff down to me and saying, "Hey, no, tell me that story again. No, this is why this causing that.
Right.
This is why when you go in a restaurant and your back ain't turned, your hairs are sticking up."
Right.
And I'm like, damn, I never known that.
Right.
So to me, her showing me, exposing my triggers, that was the best thing I got a treatment so far.
Right.
Now, I probably need to
teach
go
you how
again
to cope.
to probably get to that next stage of what you talking about. But for me, just right now, just identify my triggers, bro. That's been a
And that
reliever.
was cool for you because you was able to trust to talk. Because see, look, I went through 3 psychs, and them 3 psychs. The first 2 was because one, I was probably a little too much for her when I really started venting a little stuff. You
Gotcha.
can kind of tell. And then the second one, it was like she was just kind of there for a job. It's like you go in there, you be in there about 15, 20 minutes. It was kind of like rushing out. So I kind of shut down on her. Like, I
She was
just
just
come
there
here
for the
for the
check.
time.
She
You know
was
what I'm
there
saying?
for the check.
And we'll do admin part of it, and the session will be pretty much over. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean?
Yeah.
But then that last one really was just kind of like, she would use your whole 40 minutes to an hour.
She cared.
You know what I mean? Like like how you say, she really was trying to see where she could help me. And she put me in the PTSD class. She put me in the coping class. And I started learning, coping skills and
Right.
stuff like that. And like you say, once you learn your triggers and know what triggers you, you know what I'm saying, you know how to fortify yourself. That's the military in you. It's like you know how to secure things. And that's kind of where I'm at now. That's what, like, I got to the point to where I overcame all that, my kids straight, and that's why I became a social worker helping other veterans. And also, it was finishing out my federal time.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Because I didn't do the whole 20. You know what I'm saying? I did 12.
Right.
And then I did almost 10 years of VA.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it finished out my time.
Nice.
And stuff like that.
Nice. But yeah, man, I greatly appreciate it again, man. I appreciate having my kinfolk on here. It's like a dream come true. Never thought I'd be here doing something like this. But I got my kinfolk here, Tommy Williams, 12 years
I
in.
appreciate it, man.
Oh, yeah, man, we definitely going to do this again. Again, man, I appreciate you coming to Soldier Stories, a soldier sharing some of his stories. I greatly appreciate it, bro. I appreciate your time, appreciate your service. And, man, we're going to do this again, kinfolk.
Right. Just one side note. It's like, what helps me today is like, I mean, I didn't know a kid from Oak Cliff would become a farmer. You know what I mean? But it's like the freedom of farming, the freedom of property, like, I hardly ever see police officers.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do everything under the sun.
Yeah.
Like I can literally come out, put my shotgun, put my hunting rifle, my self-mag. I can even get my score. I can just go out. I can hunt pigs,
Yeah.
deer, raccoons, squirrels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can just go to a range. I got me a little 40-acre range that I just got some metal out there just to just to hear,
Yeah.
you know what I mean,
Yeah,
clink
yeah.
some targets, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I was able to overcome and build a life that give me a sense of freedom
Mhm.
and a sense of purpose,
Mhm.
you know? Because I grow a lot of my own stuff,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I want to get to the point to where I only go to the grocery store for cornmeal, flour, and appliances, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But right now, you know, doing the pecans is this 6 acre pecan orchard, you know, handling 3,000 trees.
Nice.
It's beneficial, but it's where you can actually leave a legacy. You know
Gotcha.
what I mean? It's lucrative now, but as you know, you progress and cut down your loss, you
Mhm.
know, or buy new equipment to help you out.
Mhm.
Like it's life changing. You know what I'm saying? So I would encourage our veterans to kind of find you somebody at the VA
Mhm.
that works for the VA.
Yes, sir.
Well, let me
I,
say that. You have two types of people. You have one that work for the VA. You have
mhm.
one that work for the veterans. You
Mhm.
need to find one that work for the veterans
Yes, sir. Thousand
because,
percent.
and how you can tell the difference if the whoever you're dealing with is offering you stuff that you didn't necessarily come in there and ask for,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
versus somebody who just kind of listening and write notes and waiting for you to get out of there.
Fill in the blanks.
You know what I mean? So once you kind of find that and you get somebody to kind of help you and get your benefits, you deserve them. A
Mhm.
lot of veterans, you know what I mean, they get discouraged, and it might be how the system is designed,
Right.
you know,
Right.
because me actually working for that system,
Mhm.
I found ways to maneuver through the system and help veterans maneuver through, but we shouldn't have to find ways to maneuver.
Mhm.
But you got veterans that just scamming. You have people who acting like they veterans, but then the veterans that really need it, they should be able to recognize those.
Yes, sir.
And that's the biggest thing.
Yes,
So I
sir.
just want to leave with that note to let these veterans know. Get what you deserve and set up your life for you.
Yes, sir. I agree 1,000% with you. I agree 1,000% with you. And with that, the soldier stories. One last statement out there for all the veterans that are watching. Please, 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 if you need to, go get the help that you need to keep your mental straight. Mental health is a big thing. We've been through too much, and we all can get that help. It's available to us. So with that being said, episode 2 of the soldier stories, we out.
Peace.